Hey, it's Cole or Josh, whatever you want to call me. I don't really care regardless. Whatever makes you happy. If you're new and you're just seeing this for the first time, this is your introduction to my channel for some reason. I'm Josh. I go by Cole as my music project. Um, and I have a slew of disorders that I live with on a daily basis, ranging from PTSD to depression, anxiety, panic attacks, insomnia. But the most notable one that I have that people, I guess, know is schizophrenia, more specifically, schizoaffective disorder. I have the bipolar type, so I say schizophrenia because it's not too far off at all, and people kind of have a better understanding of that. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about mental health and some things. And I'm sorry if I seem jumbled or if there's sudden pauses. If there's a sudden pause, it's because I have a cold or something's going on with my lungs that are making me hack shit up. But right now, but yeah, if I have a lot going on. Some of you know that I went to a crisis treatment center, not a psych ward. It was a crisis treatment center, basically a step down from a psych ward. I was having a rough time, and I guess uh, I guess I could have gone to a psych ward. I don't. The only people who know really are my family and like a friend. So I had made a suicide attempt recently, and I took a handful of my medication and went to my brother and was like, "Hey, how much of this would kill you?" And he was like, "What? What are you doing?" And he encouraged me to go get help, and I went and called an ambulance and went to the hospital, talked to the crisis people, and I came to the conclusion that I don't really need to be in a psych ward, but more or less a step below that. I just needed help. I need therapy and genuine therapy. And if anyone's ever been to a psych ward, that shit doesn't do anything. You just go there and you're like, damn, I hate my life and everyone's watching me pee and I hate everything. So that's a psych ward essentially. If you've never been, you're just being monitored. There's no therapy. Nobody really cares about how you're feeling, and you're kind of looked at as like a number. Here and there's a cool staff, but it's really very few and far in between. Also, I'm sorry, I just realized I'm recording this in portrait. It's just easier because, like, on my phone, like, it zooms in, like, on video mode, but on, like, photo mode, it's, like, normal, but I'm holding my fucking phone, like, 2 feet away from my face, and it's, like, right there. But, anyways, uh, I'm also sorry I'm recording this in the dark. I kind of hate the way my face looks on camera when I have my lights on. It makes me look yellow, and I'm not yellow. Um, but yeah, one sec. Yeah, sorry, I was coughing my guts out. Anyways, I just wanted to tell people like a little bit of my story and talk about my history with my disorder, schizoaffective disorder. I'm kind of a weird case when it comes to that because I developed symptoms, hallucinations specifically, when I was around 12 or 13 years old. And you don't normally start having symptoms for schizophrenia until you're around 18 to 20 years old. Around late adolescence, essentially, and going into adulthood. I'm 23 now, so I've lived with this literally 10 years of my life now, so it's kind of just sucks, but I'm getting by. But anyways, I was like 13 years old, and this is going to be a massive trigger warning, by the way. I'm going to go into detail about some of the things I've seen and experienced, and it involves violence and a lot of trauma and difficult things, I guess, involving children, animals, women, people, doesn't matter, just violence. And yeah, so I was 13 years old. I was in my class. I was in, I think, geography. And I just started getting like this weird, I like these voices, which I've had for, about a year prior, but I thought they were normal. So I ignored them. And it just started being like, they're coming, they're coming. And I was like, oh shit, what's coming? So I got up, walked out of the room without saying anything, and went straight to the counselor. I went to her room, and I was like, let's call her Miss B. Miss B, I'm hearing things. And she's like, what? I'm like, I'm hearing voices. I think someone's following me. And she's like, okay. And I don't really remember a whole lot, other than I remember seeing this man walk into the room, and he was holding a baby. And he had a rock in his other hand, and he threw the baby on the ground and started beating its head in with the rock. And this was the first time I'd ever had a visual hallucination. And I am not a violent person. I have a lot of trauma from my childhood. I have a lot of bad memories, and including sexual assault. As you've heard in some of my songs, I've been abused by a specific person for many, many years, and I experienced a lot of trauma as a child, and I think that manifested into my hallucinations. So I remember I was screaming and crying, and I crawled underneath my Miss B's desk, and I was just screaming and sobbing. I ended up going to the hospital that day. I don't remember much else around that time period. I just remember a lot of this continued shortly thereafter. A lot of violent hallucinations, a lot of delusion, a lot of pain and suffering and crying and screaming and not knowing what the hell is going on. And my mother at the time didn't believe that any of this was happening. She thought I was making it up for attention, I guess. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? And I wasn't getting proper treatment. I was seeing a psychiatrist, and they were giving me meds, but I wasn't getting the right meds because nobody knew what was going on. So finally, in 2016, when I was 16 years old, I went to my first psych ward where they gave me a proper diagnosis and proper medications. And I was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, depressive type. This was before I ever had symptoms of bipolar, so this eventually transitioned into bipolar type, but this was the first time in my life I ever had an answer to things that were going on. And yeah, so growing up, I've just lived with hallucinations. It's prevented me from getting my license. I don't have my license because, I mean, naturally, if you're seeing things in front of you that aren't there, it's kind of dangerous to get in front of a wheel and start driving. You know what, if I'm driving down the highway and I see a fucking like child sitting in the road and she's not even there, I swerve off and kill myself. It's stuff like that. Anyways, this has affected my ability to work. This has affected my ability to reach my career that I always wanted to achieve, which was I wanted to be a special ed teacher. It's affected my relationships. A lot of my friends don't talk to me anymore because I'm very stressful sometimes to talk to. Because alongside with my hallucinations and my delusions, I also get very depressed and erratic. And on top of that, I have bipolar. I get manic episodes. I've made bad decisions. Like when I recorded the album Rope Burns, I moved literally within a 30-second decision to go live with my friend, and we recorded Rope Burns together while I was there. And it took us 30 seconds to make this decision for me to move there and change my entire life. I make bad decisions, which is why I worry about merch, and I worry about the actual business aspect of my project, because I I'm mentally ill, I'm disabled, I have problems, and I'm not reliable. Sometimes I can't meet deadlines because I'm in the hospital, or I try to kill myself, or it's reason why my grind band, we broke up, because I'm just not a reliable person to be regularly making music with. I need to do it on my own, or I need to be in a healthy spot mentally. I have well over 24 suicide attempts under my belt. Last time, obviously, was a couple weeks ago, and my first time was when I was 16. I had jumped in front of a car near my driveway, and it just so happened that the car that was supposed to hit me was my neighbor, and she turned into my driveway. Stopped the car and pulled me off the road and consoled me while I was screaming at this car. I was screaming, "Hit me, hit me!" And listen, I still feel this way a lot. I still struggle. I still feel alone. I still feel like there's nothing, and I'm alone in my room, wishing I had friends to go talk to or hang out with. I'm in my early 20s. I don't have friends. I have friends, but they're all far away, or they're busy doing adult things, and that's fine. That's not their fault. That's my fault. But I'm depressed, and I spend every day wishing I could love myself, or at least be content with what I have without wanting to die. And that's the toughest part of everything, is that I want to die. I don't want to be alive. I don't want to. Even now, as I'm saying this, I'm not going to hurt myself, and I'm not going to kill myself, so I don't want any of you to worry. And I'm pretty good about reaching out for help, usually. But I'm depressed, and things are hard. And I guess I just wanted to open up about it, because there's been times where I've disappointed people. I have a couple friends that are waiting on CDs right now, and I promised them, and I just haven't sent them because I'm just so scrambled. I'm so stuck. I have albums I'm working on. I have the split that I'm working on with Black Silence. I'm taking forever to get to the collab song. We have 2 songs each, and then 1 song at the end that we're collaborating with. And I just waiting on me to write these lyrics to this song and to perform. But for some reason, I'm just so low. I don't even know what to say. And I just want to be real with you guys. The only thing that keeps me going is these messages I get from you and the comments. I don't care about the likes or the sales, really. I like hearing that I'm helping people, and I like hearing that I'm making a difference in others' lives. I don't care if you're like 15 or fucking 40 or in your 60s. If I'm impacting you, I'm glad to hear it. Because I wish I could do the same to myself. That's why I started this project, is to make myself feel better, and it doesn't really work. I've just come to the realization I'm going to be this way forever. Nothing changes. It's like that one song by that one band, Morgan Day. The end, nothing ever changes. And he's like, I remember hearing that as like a teenager, be like, nah, I'll get better. No, this dude was right. And nothing changes, dude. I'm just stuck. And I don't want to be stuck. So, I have so much going on in my head. Like, I have memories of these hallucinations. Some of you might know I was on the intro to Paleface's Fear and Dagger album. I was on the song 666, and that was one of the recordings. That was a recording that I made of me having an episode. And that is one of the worst ones I've ever had, where I saw, and I've never opened up about this really in detail, but I've only told Zelly. But that is where what happened was is I was in my room, not this room anymore. My sister actually took my room. She's a little kid, so she had a bigger room. She has the walk-in closet where I am now, and I really wanted it, so I was like, hey, kiddo, can I have your room? If we can trade, that's why I have pink walls. And because I wanted the walk-in closet to do vocals, so I ended up getting it. But in that room, there's like this corner off to the right, and there's like this like big machine, and there's a hallucination, and there's like this guy. He's like a prophet. His name's Jeremiah, and the artwork for Unmedicated 4 is a depiction of Jeremiah done by my friend. I'm going to call them T because that's the first initial of their first name. She did the art based on my description, and it was very accurate. But Jeremiah, he had my mom up on like this mechanism, and she was like tied up, and he basically just cut her open and gutted her, and in the recording you can hear me say, don't gut her, don't gut her. And this relives in my head every day. Everything just I feel like I'm in loops. My fucking head just spinning all the time, like I'm just foggy, and colors don't feel bright anymore. The only time I feel at peace is when I'm in love. And that's codependency, so I just push people away. I don't love anymore, even though it's all I want. I don't know, I'm sorry if this is dragging on, but I just wanted to let it out and say something, because if you're still watching and, you saw everything, just let me know. Write a comment, please. And knowing you guys watch this is just like, I don't know, but it's gonna fucking watch this whole thing. I'm already at 17 and a half minutes right now, dude. This is crazy. But, no, I appreciate you guys, and I love you guys. There's not a whole lot of you, but I feel like I have friends and a community. That means the world to me. Thank you.